please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Another day of crypto. It's going to be a volatile week from the looks of it. Are we going to get a deal, or is it game on? A game on again. And of course, we've had some ups and downs with this, so we're going to see what happens, and we're going to check out some of the latest news on that. We're obviously going to get into Bitcoin, which has pulled back in the market, up in the last It's up in the last hour, but down over the 24 hours. It's certainly off its little rally last week. We're also going to obviously have a little bit of a deep dive into the Bitcoin power law, and see where we are at the moment relative to that. And we're still obviously looking pretty good. And then we're going to get into Pulsechain and look at some of the projects that are hot right now on Dex Screener. So we'll check out those as well. We're also going to deep dive into Liberty Swap, which is launching some of the biggest products on Pulsechain this month. This team is, as I call it, the crack in the Pulsechain, just launching multiple top-tier DeFi. So we're very lucky to have them doing that. And, of course, we've got other really great devs. We've got some of the best devs in the world working on Pulsechain, and we know they're going to roll out projects, I guess, when Pulsechain turns up gets a bit of a sentiment momentum for that mega uptrend. So pretty cool. Now, if you haven't subscribed on the way in, subscribe. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. And, of course, if you're on X, also hit the follow button on X as well. And let's have a good time. Let's have a good time talking about some of this cool stuff. So let's get it. We've even got some footage, I should say, of the conflict in the Strait of Hormuz. So let's get into that too. All right, let's go to some of the latest news here. So we've got the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, posting a video of, a destroyer or something like that, and the Iranian ship. And, of course, they fired upon that ship, giving them due notice to evacuate, and they've taken over that ship. So President Trump said today an Iranian-flagged cargo ship named Tuska, near 900 feet long and weighing almost as much as an aircraft carrier, tried to get past our naval blockade, and it did not go well for them. The U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer USS Spruance intercepted Tuska, I guess it is, in the Gulf of Oman, and gave them fair warning to stop. The Iranian crew refused to listen, so our Navy ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engine room. Right now, U.S. Marines have custody of the vessel. Tuska is under U.S. Treasury sanctions because of their prior history of illegal activity. We have full custody of the ship and are seeing what's on board. And that was from President Donald J. Trump there. And you can actually see the attack on that ship in the video, which is pretty crazy. And you can see a couple shots go off there. So pretty crazy stuff. And that ship has been taken over. I think we've got the shots about now, something like that. Can't remember where it is. Anyway, there's a shot going right now. So it's actually quite a far distance, and they stopped that ship. So there we go. The blockade is working, and it's a bit of a tit for tat during the ceasefire. It's a ceasefire with the guns going on. That runs out on Tuesday, so we're going to see what happens there. But we did get a further update, so let's go to that. And that is from President Trump in the White House, and we got a new one here. So what it says here, I'll read it out because it's a little small. It says, Iran decided to fire bullets, says President Trump yesterday on the Strait of Hormuz. And, of course, talking about particularly an Indian oil tanker that was taking oil from Iraq. Said a total violation of our ceasefire agreement. Many of them were aimed at a French ship and a freighter from the United Kingdom. That wasn't nice, was it? My representatives are going to Islamabad, Pakistan, and they will be there tomorrow evening for negotiations. So negotiations and the ceasefire to Tuesday still going. We'll see whether a deal will be done. Iran recently announced that they were closing the strait, which is strange because our blockade has already closed it. They're helping us without knowing. A bit of Trump's humor there. And they are the ones that will lose with the closed passage. That's right. $500 million a day they're losing. The United States loses nothing. In fact, many ships are headed right now to the US, Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska to load up compliments of the RGC, always wanting to be the tough guy. We're offering a very fair and reasonable deal. I hope they take it, because if they don't, the United States is going to knock out every single power plant and every single bridge in Iran. No more Mr. Nice Guy there. Now, I don't think that he's actually going to do the power plants, obviously, because it has a downward stream for the residential, which obviously they're trying to free the Iranian people. 80-90% of the Iranian people don't like the regime, and they're trying to free them, right? That'd be the ultimate, besides getting rid of nuclear weapons in the hands of state terrorists, would be to free the Iranian people after 47 years. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. They'll come down fast. They'll come down easy. And if they don't take the deal, it will be my honor to do what has to be done, which should have been done to Iran by other presidents for the last 47 years. It's time for the Iran killing machine to end. President Donald J. Trump. Now, he may very well do that, but like I say, it's kind of counterproductive. But just the threat may be enough. So, and obviously, we'll see where that lands on, I guess, Tuesday. And so the meeting in Islamabad there. So that's kind of some of the key updates there. I'm sure there's a few more out there that have been happening in the last 24 hours. And of course, we've seen a retrace in crypto at the moment. So let's quickly check out that. And we're going to do a bit of a refresh here on CoinGecko. And we can see that at the moment we got the total market cap of crypto at 2.598 trillion on CoinGecko, and that is down 1.3%. We've got Bitcoin at the moment is at 74,521, down 1.4%, up slightly in the last hour. Ethereum there is down 2.7% at $2,283, pretty flat. XRP is down 1.7%, $1.41. BNB down 1%, $621. Solana down 1.8% at $84.19. Tron is up 1% at 33.1 cents, and Dogecoin there is down 1% at 9.4 cents. So those are the majors, and I guess Tron are obviously doing the best there. But over the last week, we've still got Bitcoin up 4.7%, and we've still got Ethereum up 3.6% there. Looks like XRP had the best result for the week, though, up 5.6% at the moment. So those are the top 10. Top 100, we got Dexy up 47% for the week. Athena or ENA, they're up 27% for the week. Minco up 19%. Morpho up 13.5%. And finally, we got Arbitrum there at number 5, up 13% there. And it looks like we've got 7 coins that are still over 10% up for the week. So there we go, along with Aptos and Stellar. All right, so that is the play. Obviously, we had over the weekend, we had the biggest hack this year for, what was it, $260 million with the old Aave. So that was quite a drama. So it's obviously been a big issue there. And so that's been, pointed out by many people. So that has been a big hit this year. Let's go into the Bitcoin chart here. And we can see on the 4-hourly that we had a golden cross here. So we had a nice little rally. In fact, if we put away this little box, you can see a bit closer, we had a big rise from the bottom, big rise, sell off there, just the volatility we're in right now, big rise, sell off there, but obviously a rise up there slowly, big sell off, a big rise. So we've got these big rises in here. And then we had the fourth one right up to, 78,390. So pretty awesome. And then obviously we're pulled back down to 73,764. Now we're back up 74,500. So we're going to get another one of these green candles maybe by Tuesday. If we get good news from around some deal done, it's going to be an interesting looking deal. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We could continue on this. And then, of course, that might lead us up into the 80s, right? Up in the 80s. And that's when we might find a bit more resistance up in the 80s if we get to 81, 83, 80, something in that ballpark. So that will be interesting zone there. 84 probably be quite a bit of resistance up at 84 mark. So keep a lookout for that, and we'll see what happens. We've certainly got the 4-hour looking good. Let's go to the daily chart here for Bitcoin. This is Coinbase, of course. Let's autopilot that, auto fit. And we're still over that 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average there, sitting at 82, what is it? 81,000. No, it's not. What is it? It's $71,886. And we got the 200-day moving average at 82,748. So that's what I mean. We got, once we get over the 80s, we're going to have, a bit of a challenge there at 82,748. So maybe between 81 and 84 a zone there. So that's where we're heading next. Obviously, let's see whether we get a deal done. It would be a pretty strange deal, given all the jockeying and positioning by the IRGC, or at least parts of it. It does look like the IRGC is a bit fractured between the foreign minister, coming over, and the leaders in Iran. The supreme leader. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, they love to do the old lies. We're going to do a deal. We're not going to do a deal. We're going to close the moves. All sorts of bravados and everything else. We got Manitook in the house there. Good evening, Day Suitman, and everyone. Hey, great to see you in the house. Yeah, good evening and good day to everybody also. So that's kind of where we are right now with the old Bitcoin. Slightly on the weaker side, but still over the 50-day moving average. Is still very bullish, and potentially we may get a deal done by Tuesday or Wednesday time down under. We'll keep a lookout for that. So that is the Bitcoin. Let's jump over to the power law, Bitcoin power law, which we've been following. It's kind of got the best model for Bitcoin, and we can see that we've had these peaks, back 2013, back in 2017, 18. We had the peaks there as well, and then we had this one here up here as well, which was was that about 20 April 21. So we had the peaks there as well. So we had all these peaks, and then during the peaks, obviously we had the bear market, and then we have these sort of mid peaks, right? These little mid peaks here that you can see as well. So a recent one, of course, we got to new all-time high 2026. But are we about to get some big move like this, the big peak ahead of us in maybe the second half of 26 and 27? So maybe the beginning of 27, we'll see. But that is what we're looking forward to. We obviously had quite a long grind up here as well into 22, 23, 24, 25. And we obviously, for the last 2 years, we had the manufacturing index or the business cycle, negative on 50, and it started to go above 50, right? So we're expanding now. And so that gives us more fuel potentially for this big rally rather than mid-peak, which we've already had, to get us the actual rally, the banana part of the curve moving ahead. So this could very well be around the bottom where we are right now. And the upside potential is pretty mega huge. What other supporting things besides the business cycle, which is obviously one of the key things that we see pushing it up, but is also the monetary printing, right? So we've got the M2 record highs essentially. So money supplies out there. You need liquidity. We've also got bank lending still looking very, very strong. And so that's also looking, more money slushing around, more money to be lent around. So there's lots of money to go around. And we got the manufacturing business cycle looking like it's starting to ramp up. So we've got all the right things hitting. And then, all fingers crossed, we may get a 50 basis point cut in July, maybe 25. It's not priced in the market yet, but that may come with the new chair, right? So which I think is getting nominated on Tuesday, if I remember rightly, this Tuesday. So I've got a couple of things happening on Tuesday. And so that's, I could be hyper bullish for the markets. Until that time, we've obviously, with the expansion of the money supply, we reasonably get inflation. Inflation will still be a challenge moving forward from that point of view. But I think we're going to get the business cycle really moving up there. So kind of cool. We also just had the tax returns, right? So we're going to get a lot of tax refunds, no tax on tips and all the rest of it. So a lot of people are going to get a lot of refunds. So we're going to have a lot of demand there. We've got the war on, so that's spending a lot of money. And then, of course, we've got big money supply. So things looking pretty big. We'll probably have a bit of an ore shock around the world in terms of process and the prices. But for America, probably will be muted by the fact that US is still a net exporter, but will be hit at the pump for a little while. So we'll see where that goes from here. We've got Bifinesse in the house there. Iran's Lego videos are legit. Yeah. If US cuts rates, with other countries follow. Not necessarily other countries. Some have already been cutting rates. There's a lot of countries around the world that have different interest rate targets. The US target's 2%, and like New Zealand, for example, is 1 to 3%. And the 2% target originally came from New Zealand. That was the concept there. and now they've got a 1 to 3% range. And I always think a range is better, 1 to 3%. So well, the CPI in the US, they'd already be under that 3%. With the CPE, that would be slightly above, isn't it? 3.3, I think it is. We've got the federal funds rate at 3.5 to 3.75, so it's a bit of a cut there. I think it's still at least 50 basis points too high. But you expand the money. Depends if you're a monetarist, right? So if you're a monetarist, which I think is probably more appropriate, then money supply really impacts the inflation, and I think we've seen that. All right, so that is where we are with the old chart there. Now, the one thing I was going to say about this is that we're kind of on the bottom, right? So if we look at the floor in green, we're kind of near the bottom there. We got the bottom of the power law floor at the moment at 55,600. So we've been to 60 so far, didn't we? About 2.5 months ago. Was that the bottom? Well, we've been up during the war, big rally during the war, but are we going to get sold off after that? We'll see. But I'm still more bullish. I think we've got a lot of fundamentals that are running out. What are the fundamentals? Obviously, I talked about the macro fundamentals, but we've got, in terms of Bitcoin fundamentals, we've got all the whales and new whales coming in, buying up tons of Bitcoin. I think it's over 270,000 Bitcoin this year. And we've also got the ETFs coming in now, net buyers as well. Obviously, we had IBIT from BlackRock buying a lot, and then we had some of the others selling off. But we now got net buying from ETFs. So we've got the large players buying, we've got the ETFs corporates buying, and clients, wealth clients, etc. And now we've got new ETFs coming into the market for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then also we've got the big digital asset treasury there, Strategy, and SBET as well, playing its role, buying. Not SBET. We've got Strategy buying up a lot of the Bitcoin with the new Stretch product, which they're going to be enhancing in June. They're moving from monthly to fortnightly or bi-monthly, and that is going to be put them in a class of their own. I think there's about 27 different type of entities that do monthly and in the same category, and now they're going to be the only one doing a fortnightly or bi-monthly payments, and that will go to vote, I think, on the 6th or 8th of June. I can't remember which day. I think it's about the 8th of June, let's say, and then that will be implemented at the end of June into July. So, and that will mean that they'll dampen down the sell-off post-dividend, right? So we saw the sell-off go down to pretty close to $99. I think it was $99.06 or something. I think it's back at $99.22. Just takes a certain amount of days to get back towards that $100 par. Once they get up to $100 par, they can then start issuing new Stretch and raising capital and buying Bitcoin. And we've seen it do some impressive numbers in the last 2 months because the rate is 11.5% versus the private debt markets at about 2 to 4%, and the credit markets at about 8.5%. So it's crushing those, right? Now, obviously, the CAG, the return for Bitcoin is pretty aggressive, and we're probably up 35% or so. So obviously, if you're offering 11.5%, you're well in the money on that. And the downward side risks would have to be pretty extreme for that to be a problem. So that's kind of where we are at the moment, looking at the fundamentals. So we've got the Strategy digital asset treasury there with using the preferred stock, buying up a lot of Bitcoin, and it looks like it could run away. We could get up to the point where we're running, buying 40 to 50,000 Bitcoin a month, which means that they'll hit, they're over 800,000 now once they do their disclosure tomorrow. So we'll get disclosure actually later today. So we'll have the opening of the markets, and that'd be pretty interesting. They're probably going to go over 800,000, probably bypass BlackRock's ETF IBIT as well, which is around 800,000. And so, yeah, we could see some dramatic stuff happening there. And then maybe in a week or two, we'll see some more Stretch printing and more money printing from the debt markets and pumping Bitcoin. And that all goes into MSDR, right, as increases the sats per share for MSDR. So that's some of the backdrop there for that. And so we're looking pretty good. So let's jump over to Ethereum. Ethereum, of course, got some similarities and some very specific stuff for it. But here on the, let's go to the daily. That's the weekly now. But let's go to the daily chart here. and we can see that we're well over the 50-day, which is at $2,209, and it's curling up, right? So hopefully we'll get to a golden cross eventually. And then we've got the 200-day at 2,645. We're currently at 2,278. We recently, on that pump last week, we got to a high of 2,466. So pretty awesome stuff. And we kind of got onto a new zone, right? So if we do draw a little picture, because we know we love drawing pictures, then we've got this sort of zone. And even compared to Bitcoin, we're even more bullish here. So that's even a more bullish position on the charts. Even though we're just above the 50, similar to Bitcoin, we're actually quite clear from the downward channel, whereas Bitcoin, we'd gone back into it, which I didn't comment on, but we had gone back into it slightly. So Ethereum looking very bullish indeed here as well. And of course, we've got Bitminer Mission there buying up more Bitcoin. So we're going to get disclosure again today for both Strategy and for Bitminer Mission. And that'd be pretty exciting. We've got SBET as well, also doing some nice stuff in the space, a lot smaller than Bitminer Mission, of course. I think they're about $1.7 billion as opposed to 11 billion plus. And obviously, all of those digital asset treasuries, in terms of underlying value of its core ETH holdings, are reliant on the projection that Ethereum will become the finance monetary system. And of course, we've seen all the things support that, the dramatic rise in stablecoins, the dramatic rise in tokenization, RWA, and of course, now also the move with, which is still early days for AI to AI payments and many other categories like creator payments, etc., coming to the blockchain. And that's going to ramp up dramatically. We also got record transactions and wallets and things like that all on Ethereum, and that's already that good so far. I think it's 400 million wallets on Ethereum. That's just going to ramp up with the transactions and the wallets dramatically, especially with AI agents and creator payments. So, but we also obviously got Bitmine also working with Mr. Beast, with Tom Lee. So he's trying to not only get institutional adoption and help them move over to Ethereum, but also get mass adoption through Mr. Beast. And of course, 1 in 3 people watching Mr. Beast videos on the internet every month. So it's that's game changing, and that will target Generation Z and Generation Alpha. So looking pretty good here. It's the early days, and we're get excited for where this will go in the future. So that is Ethereum. We'll keep a watch out. Obviously, reliant also on what happens by Tuesday with the ceasefire. Will the deal be done? All that sort of stuff in Islamabad, there, Pakistan, and lots of theories going out about the strategies and stuff. What's going on there. All right, so cool. Let's get to Pulsechain. With that, it's a Pulsechain at the moment. We've got Leech in the house. Hey, good to see you. LFG, let's go. If you guys have just come in as well, don't forget to hit the repost button on X and also smash the subscribe on the way in if you're loving commentary on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto markets as well as Pulsechain. Get on it. It's a great place to be. And for me, it's just fun live streaming and sharing the journey every day. And it's a good time. There's a lot of good projects establishing on Pulsechain with various fundamentals, and I love going through all those as well to some varying degree. And so, yeah, but if you want to get all the insights, you really need to join Strategy Club, and the link's in the video description on that. And we have some great discussion and stuff I don't talk about on the live stream. Remember, live stream, this channel focused on no drama and PG channel for PG. So we try to keep to those principles as we go forward as well. All right, let's just focus on the crypto. That's the kind of the play. We got day 1054 right now on Pulsechain. Pulsechain, of course, is a full system state fork of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2023. Launched 3 days later on the 30th of May 2023, and here we are 1,074 days later. Pulsechain obviously has had a number of challenges, along with the SEC, which it defeated via Richard Hart and his dream team of lawyers, and of course also with many black swan events around some copy contracts, some of the major ones like Compound and Maker, and also with obviously the sacrifice set, and arguably some of those may have been hexagons there. So there we go. All right, so we got Pulse at the moment sitting at 50800. Well, I say 8,000, so we're going to keep that. 508,000, and that is down 2.4% today. Not too bad today. We've got Pulsex at the moment at 50621, down 1.6%, and both of those are obviously super cheap right now. So you can pick up a whole ton of bag. For Pulse, I always like to use this comparison. So during the sacrifice, when people sacrifice for Pulsechain, you would have cost you about 85,000 plus or minus, obviously depending on multiplier, but around about 85,000 is kind of the a ballpark, and that would have got you a billion Pulse. Well, now instead of paying 85,000, you can pay 8,000. So not 85, but 8,000, and get yourself a billion Pulse. So the world is different, and it bodes well for those people that are picking up right now. I think it's pretty good. Now, obviously, markets can always go down another 50%, but I think this is looking pretty good zone right now, and we're looking to consolidate, I guess, for several weeks into this, out of this Iranian conflict. Eventually, we got PulseX at the moment at 50621, down 1.6%, and of course we got the buying being sitting at 8.87% based on GoPulse numbers. We got Ink token at the moment just below 37 cents, down 4.8%. We got Hex on Pulsechain, otherwise known as PHEX, is at just above 1400th of a penny, down 2.5%. And we got EHEX there at 0.0067, so that's really super cheap again. And the combined price of EHEX and PX is sitting just over 0.2 of a penny, 2100th of a penny right now. So still cheap, super cheap value for Hex. Now there are pros and cons to each of these peers or each of these tokens, just like there is with everything else, all the other millions of tokens out there. But these are all Richard Hart cores along with ProveX, right? ProveX as well. All right, so Richard Hart being the founder of Pulsechain. Alex is in the house. He has liked the videos. Yes, smash the likes on the way in. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, so we got the beats at the moment, 1.3 million beats on Pulsechain. We have been elevated. We were all the way down at what 400 to 600,000 beats, I think, around 600 at least. We're at 1.3 million, been elevated the last sort of 5 days. We are sitting at 0.4 of a penny, and let's have a look at the validators. Valo is pretty much similar to yesterday. I think we're up slightly, maybe 40 valos or something, 50 validators. We're at 50,420 at the moment. The bridge there, bridge is sitting at 70.9, so that's down a bit from yesterday. Still holding over that 70 million mark. We've got 15.8 million USDC. The Hex, big Hex early in stake, they ended up taking out USD Tether, which is down now at 4.169 million. In fact, didn't I have a snapshot? I think I did a snapshot. Where is my snapshot? Yeah, here it is. I don't know what date I did that. We took one as a baseline. That was the 10th of April. What are we on now? The 20th. So 10 days ago. Okay, 10 days ago, guys. So let's use this as a comparison. So 10 days ago, we were sitting on 15.5 million USDC. We had the total amount at 69.9 million. So we're only up $1 million from 10 days ago. But we had 15.5 million USDC. Now we've got 15.8. So we're basically up, circa 250, maybe slightly more. So over $250,000 up in the USDC. So that's kind of cool. DAI was 14.4. We're at 14.6. So we're up about 220K in DAI. So that's kind of neat. What else? ETH, we had 5,664 ETH, but we got 5,566. So we're down about 100 ETH. So we're up on the USDC and DAI, but we're down on the ETH. And USD Tether was 4.4. We're now at 4.16. And of course, we had that Hex early in stake and dumping all that Hex for flying through to USD Tether at $20,000 clips. And then the Bitcoin's pretty similar to what we had 2020. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. All right. So let's jump forward here, and let's go to let's jump into the markets at the moment on Pulsechain. This is Dex Screener's default view. So the top 100 here. Sometimes there occasionally is scams and honeypots and things like that. So just take note of that. And of course, each project has their own tokenomics. So there's pros and cons to all of them. We got Alex in the house there. Thanks for the informative live streams. You're most welcome, Alex. On Pesh on Pulsechain. I really haven't looked at that at all. So pays Hex every 60 days. I have not looked at PSSH if that is on there. So no, I haven't seen that. Right, so at the moment we've got buy now. It's been around for 2 months. I can't remember the status of that, whether it's a scam or not. If you want to check out some scams and quick assessments, go check out CryptoSolve. He's normally pretty good at picking up scams that are on Pulsechain, but sometimes the top peer can be a scam, honeypot or something. So just take note of that. Just because it's a leading one up there. I saw someone comment on X saying, "Oh, I had done pretty well avoiding scams, but I got scammed by one of the tokens." That was a comment under CryptoSolve, so it was pretty interesting. So just be careful out there. Don't just see the latest token just came out and it's pumping. You want to jump on that momentum because it could be in a honeypot or something. So just take care out there and always double check everything. Sparta's been around for a while, over a year. That's up 10% right now. That there is the founder, I believe, was Wendy's for Tendies, XOG, as I understand it, and that's ticking away there. They don't have much hex left in there in the vault anymore, but they've got lots of other tokens. I don't know what they are, but lots of other tokens, maybe from LP pools or something. UFO there from PGC The Grace is up at the moment, about 2.7%. Saw Sun Mini Meal sitting at 5.11 cents, so it's up a little bit, and that's up 2.5% today. Ink Dollar there looking pretty good. It's a liquidity fork, one of our 4 liquidity forks from Fast Abdul, sitting at a premium at the moment, $1.03. And let's have a quick look at that. We haven't looked at liquidity forks for a little while, but generally, if you take a weekly candle, you're wanting to have it at $1, right? That's normally you want it pegged around $1, which would be about here. So what's that? It's about there. So, it's been above peg quite a bit, isn't it? All the way through December, particularly, picking up pace from November last year. This is the weekly charts, so there's 4 weeks to a month, obviously. Got as high, look at that, got as high as $1.15. I can't remember the event. I think there was something going on there. That was early January, and then down it came, and it's still been a premium above the markets there. Liquidity 113K, but $2,400 volume at the moment, so small volume, but ticking away there quite nicely there. And of course, that uses ink as the collateral, right, for the liquidity fork. Fast Abdul, of course, is moving on to Vault 369, which is a multi-chain liquidity fork, so that's pretty innovative. It's going to have not only multiple chain, but multiple collateral tokens. So excited about that. And Previx is going to be one of the early ones, I believe. So enough as I understand it, it's still going through the final public testing, but no doubt waiting for the market to probably turn a little bit. We'll see when that launches with Fast Abdul. So that's the place. We've got 4 liquidity forks at the moment, and we may add, it's definitely a 5th one from Vault 369. We may have another one after that. We'll see what happens there. All right, so that is Ink Dollar. We got X Game up 2% at the moment. Kind of X Game's dead though, so it's just trading. Tokens can just keep trading. Obviously, that was all pulled down again. We're excited about it, but a lot of projects don't end up making it for some reason or another, right? And then we got Richard Hart Cores there in the top 10. Ink and Pulsechain up 1%, 1.5 on these particular pairs anyway. So that's pretty much it at the moment. Everything else is down. So how many we got? 11 out of the top 100 are green on the deck screener trending view. And then we got lots that are down right now. Lots that are down. So let's go see what's the worst at the moment. It doesn't mean that it won't be back up. Sometimes the worst were the best the day before. It's just the way it goes. We've got Teddy Bear from James Maria. That is up down 11.8% right now against Treasury Bill. World's greatest PDI printer down 11.4% at $1.32 from OG WebChef. And those two do a lot of liquidity pumping somehow. So those two, the James Maria and the tend to do that. Teddy Bear, of course, is supposed to be the meme coin that reflects kind of the value. And these are kind of paraphrasing James Maria's words on that. Interesting character, James Maria. Interesting character. And what else we got there? We've got True Farm at the moment, coming off the highs. A local high yesterday anyway. It's down 8.8%, but True Farm there was pretty much one of our top performers yesterday. And you can see just a bit of a sell-off there. And we've had a sentiment change in the markets, may reflect that too. But we're up at 96 cents and bounced down at 84. We're back at almost 86 cents here. And the pulse ratio, look at that. Still holding up pretty well, bouncing above the 21 day on the pulse ratio. And obviously you got a bit of volatility in there, but that creates a good for volume, right? Because the volume, you want volume on the reflection token because that 5% tax is used to reward the EDI holders. So if you're holding True Farm in the farm there, you're earning EDI just like on Emmett Farm. So those two farms really crushing it, True Farm and Emmett, and offering high APRs. So kind of cool. All right, so that is True Farm, and of course, big shout out to Neil and Daniel and all those people there doing pretty good. So those are some of the biggest drops today. Let's see how we're going with some of the others. We're going to pick off a few others here on the list that are kind of interesting. Let's see here. So at the moment, we've got Peacock, of course. That's currently sitting at 1.447 cents, down 1%. And we're looking at the ratio. I think we're going to look at the ratio. Let's have a look at that. We can see the ratio here. So you can see on the chart here on the 4-hourly, we're below all the moving averages. So it's not necessarily the greatest. Let's have a look at the daily. Daily is looking better, right? So we've bounced off the 21, which is a very good, strong sign. As long as you hold that line at 1.41, we're good to go. So at the moment, still holding up there. We've got 3 big launches. We've got one launch that's kind of in process, 3 stages, stage 2, 3 coming up. And then we've got 2 other big launches. So we're going to get to that in a minute. So it's kind of cool. Look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio is looking real strong, even with pulse down. Obviously, pulse price down. The daily here, let's go to that. And we can see we're still rolling above the 21 moving average. And we're not far from all-time highs with the ratio. So Liberty Swap's looking very good. And we've got 3 big launches this month. So not much time. What's it, 10, 11 days or whatever. So that's not much time at all for the old Peacock there, representing the value of Liberty Swap. So let's have a quick look at Liberty Swap's latest stuff. 10 hours ago, they said there are also many AMM pools and yields of liquidity locked in older smart contracts that have been talking about some of the risks a lot in bridges and in AMM pools and things like that. So they've been commenting on a lot of big things that have been happening recently, including Hyperlane, interesting enough. Let's scroll up here to look at some of the specific stuff related to Pulsechain. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll back up here. So interesting to see how this works. The yield product is a trade. So obviously we were expecting a yield product from Liberty Swap. So they moved into expanding. I remember at the beginning of the year, as context, they did the Liberty Swap V2 updates. They've done a lot more updates to the contract since then. But essentially, they were able to hook in a whole ton of new DeFi into the system. And this is what we're seeing roll out. And so it's pretty exciting. So interesting to see how this works. The yield product is a trading tool integrated into our DEX. So DEX is doing Liberty X, right, in the DEX. Liberty X, which has 0 fees and gasless execution. So this is really making it a lot easier for people. Liquidity providers receive 80% of the fees. So it looks like this is what they're going to. Remember, they suggested it yesterday. It looks like what they're going with now. Traders can buy and sell freely. The more they buy Pulsechain assets, the more Peacock is bought back and burned from the market. So we could really see a scaling of the buybacks for Peacock. And they were talking about essentially 20% broken into 2 amounts, right? 10% for buyback and burn, and then 10% for treasury, which, you're ultimately going to accumulate more value in there later on. That's kind of the idea. Now, the reason why I prefer these sort of projects is because they're like, not only is it the frontier of DeFi and privacy and all the rest of it, but because it's a business. And I do like the business model. No, it's not the only thing that will pump, of course, but, projects pump for all sorts of reasons. And but it's just I just prefer the business model because this makes it more sustainable over time. And I like that. And it doesn't mean you can't have a composition of different type of tokenomics, because obviously that's what makes the world go around. But I think this is pretty damn exciting. The more they buy Pulsechain assets, the more Peacock is bought back and burned from the market. The more they sell Pulsechain assets, the more Peacock is also bought back and burned from the market. So pretty exciting there. There's a win-win for everyone there. Raging Magikarp there says, sounds like a win to me. Yeah, I think we need a place to temporarily park our capital when we decide to buy or sell assets. During the time, the park capital should also earn a yield. And this is one thing that Liberty Swap does very well. They're very good at yield management and optimizing. So, big shout. This team is very clever across the board. Traders win because they get better prices. Liquidity providers win by earning from temporarily parked liquidity. The protocol and community win as demand for Peacock grows. Smart contract risk is minimal since the code is battle tested and open source. The capital doesn't need to be continuously committed for the protocol to function. So that there is a pretty exciting from them. Let's see what else they got there. Up only, indeed. When a ZKX wallet. Now, we're obviously expecting that to come up as well. Obviously, people are excited about that because if you're holding Peacock, looks like you'll get a big bunch of that DAO token. which you can then stake and have influence on decision making. But also, they're going to have looks like they're going to have a revenue stream for that. I wonder whether they'll move on to more than one revenue stream. But obviously, Peacock is the main token for store of value. So this April, obviously for the wallet, everyone is excited about that. And as far as I know, it's the first privacy normal wallet hybrid. So that is a game changer in DeFi and leading the way. So pretty awesome stuff. Be interesting to see whether well, I won't make that comment yet, but we'll see what happens. They will get in kind. Yeah. What else there? What token do LP providers receive, or do they get more of the tokens they supply in the LP? They get in kind, so probably the same tokens. This April, kind of cool. Is this exactly how Pulsex is supposed to work? Very similar. We're learning from Pulsex to improve utility for Peacock and make it a full exchange token, the BNB of Pulsechain. How about that? So it's the first time we've actually heard them say that Peacock become a full exchange token. But that's essentially what's happening here. So another great perspective there. So yeah, exciting. So their DEX coming up, and I've been saying we need a third DEX. So it looks like that's essentially what they're establishing there. So lots of excitement coming here. So very cool. All right, let's keep going with this. Someone asked a question here, 80% of what fees if there are zero fees? Yeah, that's right. Good question. The fees come from liquidity pools where liquidity providers can set their own fee rates. Of the fees collected, 80% goes to liquidity providers, while 20% is used for Peacock buybacks and subsequent buy and burn. Pulsex is a DEX aggregator. LibertySwap is a DEX aggregator that routes across multiple liquidity pools and marketplaces that focus purely on execution quality, selecting liquidity sources that provide the best output to full user order. It operates with zero fees and gasless transactions. So the LibertyX DEX. So this new liquidity yield product essentially looks like it's based off it on DEX, of course. Looks like that's what we're going to get all the fees from there. All right, and that would necessarily LibertyX be using that liquidity, right, to do intent-based trading and settlements. All right, I think that's cool. Have we got any more comments down there? I don't know. Sometimes with the setup, liquidity providers have multiple strategies. They can set higher fees, but their orders may not get filled as often. Lower trading volume for them. Alternatively, they can set very low fees in exchange for higher volume, lower fee per trade, but potentially higher overall revenue. Traders benefit through better prices and lower slippage. LibertyX has no bias, only focuses on output quality. Best output wins, and those orders are routed to the liquidity providers who can fill them. So very cool, expanding on that business. Nice. All right, what else we got? Is that it? I think that was it. No, we got one. We can buy and burn Peacock. Now LibertySwap and Liberty Shield are doing their job. So at the moment, LibertySwap, which is the bridge, multi-chain bridge, and Liberty Shield, the privacy tokens, they are doing the job. LibertyX, coming soon, will also be doing the job this month. So another revenue source there that is going to burn Peacock. The other thing, of course, this could have a massive public good to not only Pulsechain but other chains in terms of moving the volume and the turnover up massively on chain. So that's going to be another global good, and that's why we get excited about it as well. You don't necessarily have to be specifically doing for the projects. All right, so that is some of the cool stuff there right now with them. I wanted to, I think we covered everything on there. So that is a LibertySwap, and so we've got 3 big launches happening on the LibertySwap, and those are all rolling out apparently in the next 10 days. So this could be some pretty interesting times for the old Peacock there. They're cracking on Pulsechain, right? They're cracking on Pulsechain. All right, so let's jump over here as well. Now, so we're going to have a quick look for, let me just look at some of these. So we've got 9mm's been, had a nice little move, right? Our second biggest DEX. And of course, now we've got, Peacock coming into the space with LibertyX. And we can see that the daily here, the LibertySwap's been on a nice little run. So it's already starting to move early, isn't it? The old 9mm. And of course, we're really waiting for Pulsechain to rally, because this will, DEXs will typically rally really well, and in turn, successful DEX aggregators, maybe like Switch, doesn't have a token, does it? But Switch, but particularly BTS, they have a token, PTS, could run really well too. So at the moment, we've got the pulse ratio 693 pulse, nice little rally there after the last 5 months, right? But certainly, if you go back even further, it's rallied quite well there. So and we might see this do very well indeed moving forward. As the volumes increase, they pay out their profits to the token holders. It's somewhere between 10 and 30K a month. And of course, that will go up as value goes up. But they're currently sitting on 555K at the moment. We've seen them around this sort of mark lately. They can get down to as low as like 150 or so, 200 on the low days. But they're back up over 500,000 now. And if Pulsechain starts to really kick the volumes into gear, currently doing 4.5 million, they're doing 500,000 of that. Then it all goes up and away. So if we start doing 10, 20, 30 mil, way it goes up into the millions, right? And so that makes it much more valuable. And the transaction's 340,000 right now. So that's some of the stuff happening here. Let's have a look out for a few others that are kind of blue chips. We've got Vouch now. Voucher's coming on tomorrow. So I've got Jexa. We're going to be doing an interview with Jexa tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. Jexa's obviously one of the smart. He's a very smart guy. Excellent communicator, all right, a really terrific communicator. And so we're going to interview him tomorrow for Vouch. Vouch has recently added more yield flywheels on there. So we're going to talk about that as well. I think it's called capital staking, if I remember rightly, something like that. And so we're going to hear all about that, and he's going to go through it. So I thought that would be pretty cool. This is the number one public validator, as I understand it, with about 8-9% of the validating. Remember, there's about 50,000 validators. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out as well. We've obviously got Validator X out there, and also Mafia token from Rack and Michelle out there, all doing validating as part of their tokenomics. So it is a pretty big market in the Pulsechain, which is kind of cool, democratizing it in that way, all taking different approaches, of course, with their tokenomics. All right, so that is the play there. What else have we got going? We got a few others there, so that's tomorrow interview coming. It's going to be good. What else we got going? Let's scroll down here as well. We got Pruvex, of course, big heavyweight. Of course, the fifth or sixth token of Richard Hart, arguably the sixth token, right? And that is that there is on discount at the moment, still at 74, but we've had quite negative sentiment over the weekend. Otherwise, it's still heading towards attraction. Let's see whether it's holding up though, based on the moving averages. On the daily here, it has dropped below the 21, so it could go anywhere here at the moment. And let's have a look at the 4 hour. So this is technically broken down for the first time. Probably my argument for I've been calling this chart very well all the way. But now it's broken down from my expectation there. Doesn't mean that it's not going to hit it later on, but not in as close near term as I would have thought. So we've bounced at the moment on the 4 hourly down to 7,100, and we've got negative crosses here with the short term 21 below the 50 4 hour movement. RSI is pretty low though, so we could start to pick up pace again here, and maybe 71's the bottom. But on the daily, we broke down from that 21 there over the last couple of days, holding at 21 pretty important on the daily average. So we've got a bit of work to do. We've got lower highs in here as well, so in lower lows. So yeah, but we're still sitting around 52. So a market maker could pick this up, and so we'll keep a lookout for that. But other than that, need some decision making going on in the chart there. At the moment, it's on the weak side, biased down to the weak side there. Now, if we get a deal on Tuesday, then all the assets will probably start rising back up, right? So, assuming we don't, then it can drag it down even more, right? Without a market maker coming into play. So that is that. Remember, it's still in beta largely, so we're still waiting for all that sort of stuff to play out. So that is some of the top blue chip tokens on the old Pulsechain. Just having a look through the few more here. Not really too much else going on there. We might pick up Pump Tires at the moment. Pump Tires, of course, we have a token launched the site there based on like Pump Farm and stuff. They are currently sitting at just above or just below 1/1500th of a penny. And the pulse ratio there on Pump Tires, let's have a look at that. We're going to weekly as the weekly candles. So we were at 156.184. So it's just bouncing off the bottom there. Ticking away there at the moment, pretty low volumes, but that's all Pulsechain at the moment. Hey, we've got RhinoFi in house there. Greetings, RhinoFi. Big shout out. I don't know if we've got Rhino. We've got Rhino on the list. Let's see here. RhinoFi. I don't know. Let's go token list here. Token list. I don't know if it should come up as an R, right? RhinoFi. Rhino, there it is. Rhinox and Pruvex. So talking about Pruvex, we just talked about Pruvex. Well, RhinoFi is looking pretty damn good. Look at that. Whoa, this is the daily candles. This is tied under Pruvex. Now, Rhino's been around a lot longer than this, but this is tied into the Prevex, which is a smart move. Getting in early on this, and of course Rhino has innovative treasury tokenomics where they have the 28-day recharge and then the buy and burn, which it's going pretty well. Recently, they I guess increased participation in the true DeFi ecosystem, which is kind of like managed funds with their SRE fund. And this is picked up very nicely in the True Farm as well. So doing some nice moves is the old Rhino phone. And good to see Derek in the house there. Greetings, he says as well. So Rhinofy on the move. In fact, let's quickly go have a look at the website and check it out. Check it out there. Goody says, can we check most wanted? Yeah, sure. We'll go check that. That sounds good. Yeah, if anyone else wants a token that's not a scam coin, check out. Let us, you can know in the chat there. I guess we can enter the dashboard. So you got your rewards there. You got the managed LPs. So they do manage LPs as well, which builds up the LP position there. But they got the charge cycles. So charge cycles, we're on charge cycle 11, 28 days, I guess is the way there. Charge balance 277 million pulse. They got 22 days and 14 hours left to go. I think last time I checked it was cycle 10, and I think they had 2 days to go. So that was the last time I checked. And what else? The Rhino balance there, $1,644 at the moment, 204 million in the buy and burn, and then you got the buy and burn there sitting at 234 every 30 minutes. It's callable on there, and users there, use reward. I guess people have botted this, no doubt. I mean, I can't imagine people sitting around doing that. Or probably certain countries are probably profitable for sure, but that is looking pretty good. Total supply 701 million Rhino. Total Rhino burn 298, so almost up at 300 million milestone on the burn there. So that's ticking away pretty well, and getting down from a billion. So ticking away real nice. And what else are we going to say about that? The recharging's still ticking away there. So project doing pretty well. All right, and that chart there, through the moon. All right, let's look at the Prevex. How's it been going? Gets Prevex. Well, if you'd gone into here, you would have improved your Prevex bags a lot. So here's the beginning. It obviously got sold off at the beginning there. There's the daily chart, and there's the Prevex ratio and the Prevex pool. And so you'd be up, 4.2x on your Prevex. There'll be a lot of people pretty happy about that. So Rhinofy is doing really well as an innovative treasury project, I would argue. So there we go. Down 3% today, but so Prevex is down. What else? They're most wanted. Most wanted is around here somewhere. I guess we got that in alphabetical order. I guess we can go find it. Here's most wanted here. Most wanted is let's have a look at that. So what's been pumped in the weekly candles been pumped in the last week. But let's go to the daily just to zoom down on this. It was going up on pretty normal volume, and then of course a big volume day, 72k, so a big volume day there, and pumping this all to high bully goat's gruff on that. So that's doing pretty well. I think it has a pretty decent holder class, in terms of pretty controlled holder group. Now, just because I say certain things in a certain way doesn't mean I'm dissing the project, because all projects have a holder class, right? So they're all varied. Typically, the longer the project's gone, the more mature it will be generally, because you've got rid of all those sell cycles, right? So it's we're just going on averages here on what we would expect. So at the moment, though, big market volume came in there. Obviously, a bit of a sell-off now after that pump. We'll see where it lies. If it can hold, normally if it only goes down about a third, that's normally a pretty strong holder class, right? If it goes all, it is a pretty big pump though. So you might reasonably expect it to go down to at least 60-70% retrace. So far it's holding, not too bad on that one. So down 25%. So pretty good so far. We'll see what happens. Will the holders, you just need a couple of sellers, right? So you don't need a lot. 11k volume. But if you've got the whole classes sitting there just playing the long game, then it allows the price to go up more. More buyers and sellers, and because sellers aren't really selling. So it's going to play. Let's go to the weekly chart. Obviously coming off the bottom in the weekly at just over a quarter of a penny at the bottom. We're now just under half a cent here. We've got over half a cent today. But let's be fair and look at the pulse ratio, right? Because it's everything's versus pulse. Obviously pulse is down, and let's have a pulse ratio. So coming back down, it was at 313 approximately. So let's argue 300 is the bottom of these this accumulation phase, let's say, and now it's time to move up. So that's kind of cool. We'll add the RSI on too as well. Now, Most Wonder is one of the top meme coins on Pulsechain, and remember every token has pros and cons. 62 on the RSI there on the Pulse ratio. Looking at the US dollar price, obviously you've got the impact of Pulse in there with the downtrend, but coming off the bottom there too. Actually, I didn't have the RSI only on here, but RSI is typically only used on the US dollar, but I like to have it for Pulse ratio to get an idea of momentum as well. But looks like we're getting back into the previous level zone, so kind of cool. Diamond holders, you'll see how diamond they are, assuming pretty normal news environment, but that's a pretty positive sign, I would say. And we'll see if they can keep it up there. But yeah, interesting stuff. All right, that is the most. We got Hex Emoto, and there's Gotti on Pulsechain from Coin Mafia X. We'll have a quick look at Gotti. Gotti. I don't know if we can find that on the thing. I don't know if that's on the actual list, is it? Gotti. This is the one here, I'm pretty sure. Which one's got the volume here? Gotti Pulse, John Gotti. I think it's the one you're talking about, right? This one here. Derek's in the house. Thanks for all you do for the community. I appreciate that, Derek. Big shout out. Thanks so much. I appreciate that super sticker. What else? So this is a Gotti from Mafia. So let's have a look at the daily chart here. So looking real strong, obviously on the pump. We're at 409,000 at the moment. And let's go to the weekly chart there. That's the weekly. So getting pretty mega pumped. Can't remember whether this is was the first token, maybe Rackham launched or something like that. So yeah, on the way up, there's no issues with the token, of course. Lots of rockets. Let's look at the pulse ratio. So it's gone from essentially around about two pulse in this average kind of area. It is now at 11. So you've done pretty damn well with accumulating pulse, especially on this down market there. So keep a track on that. Liquidity pretty small, 7.7. So very small retail play, 1,700 in volume. So easy to move charts. I think we've been having about 6,000 or 7,000 in volume, so particularly high there. So there we go. We'll see if that is maintained moving forward. You can decide on that one. First day volume was 91,000. So there we go. All right, that is Gotti. That's for Heximoto. All right, let us know if any other tokens you guys want to look at, since we've got a bit of time today. Let's jump over to where else we're going to go. We're going to go to let's talk about that. We might as well move away quickly from the charts. Actually, we might go to check out one or two more here at the moment and see where we're going. Let's scroll down the bottom here. Hex is going to be pretty interesting, I think, moving forward. Very interesting to see once we get a bit of a move on Pulse. Hex should re-rate pretty strong. It's got a pretty big community, and we might see a lot of people FOMO back into Hex. We've obviously had people ended in their big stakes on Hex, so it's still got those sort of issues around it. But I think we've seen it also do some pretty decent moves as well. If Pulse can get sustained upside, then it should start to run away again, and you get all the people start coming back into the pool. It's probably going to be the case there for X. Obviously, ProveX and all of Richard Cores probably do better there. I'm not really a big fan of incentive token. Not really a big fan of it. It's got third-party usage and farms, so you can emit farm, true farmer things. So definitely got use cases. I just don't know where it will go with Richard Hart after lowering the yield on INC, basically fixing that. So we may see that come back in some sort of collateral usage. Obviously, it's an ink printer. We talked about that earlier, Festival. So there's a lot of use cases. So that if we get more use cases, then it's going to be quite useful from that point of view. Just a question of what Richard will do with it moving forward. We obviously got the Master Chef contract for PulseX and the DAO. None of that has been transferred yet, so we'll see. Single-side staking and all that sort of stuff in PulseX. And then we've got expansions and innovations happening with Liberty Swap and their yield offering coming up, along with Liberty X, DEX aggregator. So we've got lots of things already moving far beyond PulseX, but Richard can move markets when he wants to, and so we'll keep a lookout for where he's going to head with that. Hex Ray Vision in the house there. Hey kids, good to see Hex Ray Vision. Hey kids, hey, how you doing, kids? All right, so we're in there. That's the mix. Welcome to the chat. What else there? Emmett Farm looking pretty good at $1.31 from Kairos. Kairos doing pretty well there. And the high yields. Let's go quickly look at the high yields. I should have done this for True Farm, but we did True Farm the other day, I think. So that's all right. I'll come back to Emmett Farm today. Yeah, I did True Farm the other day. I think it was 2 days ago. So we'll do Emmett Farm. So Emmett Farm looking pretty good. The emission rate is $750 a day. So I guess it's about $1,000 or something. So maybe $1,100 US dollars. So it's one of the key sustainability things from the farm that I keep offering high yields, which I think has been very successful. There's a number of fundamentals. And we've got stake Emmett at the moment, 107% APR, still looking extremely attractive. Basically, you buy Emmett, you stake it, and it's single side, and then you earn the EDI from the reflections, which I think is 4% of the 5%, if I remember rightly. And there's $220,000 in volume, in TVL locked. So this is actual LP's actual locked. Sometimes the TVL, the lock part's not really locked. So sometimes but there's locked in there. So people can buy the Emmett and they can just lock it in there, right? Just stake it in there and do that. You can see the stake button there. And then I've got everything else is not single side. So this single side, I wonder whether he will do another single side actually in here. He's obviously got a couple projects running at the moment. He's got Crongy on Sonic Chain. If you guys weren't aware of that, it's got Crongy Farm on Sonic Chain. And Sonic Chain does seem to be picking up its pace of volume and other things. So Sonic does seem to be picking up. So presumably Crongy is picking up a bit of value there. And what else? He's got... I obviously did the Christmas one, St. Richard Hart did that. That's going to continue on, I guess, for next festival time. And then obviously he's done the Pruvex one, right, as well, which we're not talking about now, but he's done that too. And that's looking, I think, going to do pretty well. So he's got a few products on the run and probably got some more coming, is my guess, because he's doing pretty damn well at this as Kairos. Now, we've got the rest of these are all pools. So you provide liquidity in PulseX V2, for example. Emmett and Pulse, and you you get LP tokens from doing that on PulseX, and then you can bring your LP tokens and get your wallet up and stake here, and then start earning Emmett. All right. So at the moment, it's got 125x allocation, so that really helps determine, support the APR that you're going to be earning, as well as obviously the token values. But they've got cool little calculators here, so you can kind of see what the current rate is. Daily, you're going to get 0.25% of your capital back a day. Weekly, 1.7%. Monthly, 7.5%. Yearly, if the APR stays up at 137%, you'd get 137%. So that'd be pretty awesome. And so that's kind of where we are right now. And so there's lots of pools. So we've got all the Richard cores here matched with Emmett's. Then we've got PulseX, obviously pools. These are not Emmett pools, so these are Emmett tied in with the top tokens. And then we've got PulseX matched with a lot of key tokens like PulseX, etc., Ink and PulseX. These are obviously a lot more modest, so you can see the allocations are much lower, 5x, 10x, compared to what we had up here, 125x for Emmett Pulse. But there's all your popular tokens in here, lots of combinations and different yields for that. So if you just these ones here, these are non-Emmett ones, so it's just the value of Ink and PLS6. Now, you obviously, when you provide liquidity, you have impairment loss issues relative to tokens, so you got to take that into account. But pretty awesome. Pulse Bitcoin, which we interviewed Fat Sammy the other day with Ben and I think was it Executioner? I think possibly. DeFi Nation. Ben. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And we got Frank Whitehouse, Bang Bang Lake Gang. Good to see you, Frank. Welcome to the chat. Pulse Bitcoin there, doing some pretty cool things. And you can watch that interview I did about 3 or 4 days ago. We've got decent yields in here, 56%, 20%, Pulse Bitcoin and Pulse Litecoin, etc. ASIC, PulseX. So there's quite a few combinations. Vouch, which we're going to interview tomorrow, funnily enough. So we've been interviewing some of these teams, isn't it crazy? It wasn't planned, by the way. It wasn't planned. We got Vouch next. So Vouch, we're going to be interviewing Jexa tomorrow. Very excited about that. Number one public Pulsechain validator. And they got their own flywheel tokenomics. So we're going to find out all about that. And they got all their different tokens. VPulse, of course, you put Pulse in, you get VPulse. They got their main token, Vouch. So we're going to learn all about that tomorrow. We're going to have the man, the myth, and the legend there. Kind of cool. Ink printer, well, we talked about that earlier, and that's Faster Abdul with the Ink D and the print token. So those are his tokens there. Pump tires, we just talked about that earlier, funny enough. And in fact, we also talked about Most. They're in here as well, along with Crypto Coffee's top app, Peacock, which we talked about pretty in depth as well. And lots of other tokens like Morbius, which we're going to be interviewing Morbius, funnily enough, on Thursday. So we've got 2 interviews this week, Vouch and Morbius. Morbius, of course, doing one of our big gaming protocols now on Pulsechain, leading the way. And so that they're doing online casino, blackjack and things like that. And it's pretty cool, actually. Really good animations. So keep a lookout for that. That's coming up, I think, on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday interview there. So cool. That's pretty funny. What was the plan there? We got community tokens. We got Gelato Tetra from Stu working on multiple protocols, and he needs to clone himself so that he can get these all moving a bit faster. ZKP was the one from Chorus there, not looking too bad. Pulsechain store, they're giving out. What they're doing, I think they're doing. They've had a lot of sponsored giveaways, but they're doing, I think, $50,000 in giveaways coming up as Pulsechain store with the PLSS token, and they've got lots of peers in here. Look at this one, Pulsechain store and Emmet is 192% APR, not bad. TVL is on the smaller side, so once you add TVL in, the APR will drop a decent amount. So you just got to take that into account. But there are some very big TVL pools as well to take off. True Farm from True DeFi. We just talked about them before, covered them the other day, and they're looking pretty good. 136% APR and $5,700 there. Presumably the SRE fund is in here as well, no doubt. True Farm Emmets. Then we're at Rhinify, which we just talked about, and we've got Derek in the house. Big shout out to Derek. Derek there. Nice one. And they've got nice yield, 78 and 50% on the Rhino Emmet, Rhino Pulse peers. Crypto Paradise, which is one of the big KOLs on Pulsechain. We haven't seen them for a little while, but they're taken away here with their own peers. Kind of cool. We've got Impulse with their peers as well, which I think is a early Kairos project as well. I think it's Impulse, yeah. Function Island from Danny D. He's another innovative developer in the Pulsechain space. Got the Island Yield Farm tokens and the farm tokens. So you get 3 tokens there. And he is working on a lot of other stuff at the moment. New stuff there with Danny D. Another farm there. Actuator in the house as well. In there. And then we got the Grace Currency. Obviously the first DAO token on Pulsechain. Reflection with locking and staking. Prayer Banana covers all that. Vic Foundation. We got our non-profit here. Every quarter they give out they obviously from their, I think the reflections or whatever, they accumulate money and then they give it out to non-profit causes for veterans and first responders. So keep a lookout for a lot of stuff. I think we're going to get some cool things happening with good old Vets or Vic Foundation coming up. I think it's a 401c if I remember rightly, United States terminology there for non-profits. So it's taken away pretty nice yields, 150k. 150, 150%, 180%. Small, relatively modest TVL, so just take note of that when you're putting LP in. Hocus Pocus there, another really good DeFi space. And of course, they have a very good dashboard that allows you to go across multiple farms and look at the yields and other offerings out there and dexes and things. So Hocus Pocus, worth checking out. They have their NFT marketplace as well. Maybe one of the last surviving NFT marketplaces at the moment. So they're doing pretty well there too. No permissions from Randy Alaski, one of the big influencers on Pulsechain. And of course, he's got this Nope token as well. So he's ticking away there, along with the old Firewhale ones and Crispy Man as well. Nope, Fire token. So you've got a couple of influencers there. And you got Axis as well from Axis Alive. So another Pulsechain influencer, along with Crispy Man, who does all the Hex videos and analytics. So you got, it's a influencer collab there. And of course, Firewhale was one of our big public whales. Next in, of course, another farm on Pulsechain, and that's got 226% at the moment on Neon. Neon there, these guys are pretty damn innovative. Like they're doing a lot of innovations in frontier stuff. So and they've got a whole ecosystem in there as well. So you got to check out Nexium, pretty amazing. Vox is another farm as well, 161% on that at the moment. And then you got PyPools at the very bottom here, 223%. Very small TVL though. Take note of that. A big trade off there, but some amazing APRs here across the board for the old Emmett farm, and pretty cool. Let's go quickly check the NFTs. So I'm just a bit nosy on that because they're almost sold out. Yeah, 519. So there's only 555. So it's not many to go. What's that? 36 or something? 35 NFTs. Wonder what Kairos will do with those once they're all sold out. That's not far away at all. Very cool. All right, I think that's it. They also, recently they launched Farm Factory, and you create your own farms and yields, offer yields and stuff like that. So if you're a project team out there, might be something for you to use. Kind of cool. Browse all farms. I don't know if that's the same one. I don't know if that's the same. Take us back to the farm place. No, it's Farm Factory. Yeah. So this will take you to the current ones that people have set up through the Farm Factory. Might take a second to render there. So there they are there. So those are the ones that have been set up by people, offering pretty high APRs as well. See ZKP, quite a few in there. Look at that. Ink token, a few other exotic tokens as well. Proof and Provex. Oh, there's a lot more coming up. They're all popping up. All right, so people are starting to really use that. That's pretty cool from Emmett Farm. All right, definitely check that out. That's another custom farms and Farm Factory. All right, so that's pretty cool. $1.31, looking pretty damn good, isn't it? So for a farm, over a year old now too. Sometimes a lot of farms they die within within a month, if not 2 months, right? Sometimes even days. But Kairos has managed to design this farm and do a lot of collaborations and all the things right. He's done everything right. And look at the price. Look at the price there, Pulse, and nice partnership with True DeFi as well. So there is some really good stuff happening on the old Pulsechain, even in the bear market, as we try to find this bottom on Pulsechain. All right, so let's go to Rat Pulse. And let's have a quick look at the charts here. We're doing for time, an hour and 12. We're going to 3 more minutes. Let's check out the Pulse chart and let's see how the health of the whole ecosystem is looking. Obviously, we've got a lot of geopolitics playing out, but we are challenging the prices. So let's go to the weekly. We were deemed down at 507145, so 507,145 on the old Pulse price. I believe that is the all-time low as well. Let's go to the monthly chart and multi-chart here, and just trying to make sure this is the right one. Yeah, so we've had so many red months down, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've still got the war volatility on, but we've got a green month, so it's not the end of the days on the old Pulsechain. Is this the bottom though? Is this the bottom? Was 71.94? That's 5071.94. Was that the low? We're currently back at 8,000. I think we've teased to get back to 9,000 over recent times. What do we get up to here? 9,165, 5 zeros. So we've got a bit of work to do, obviously, to chow back. Now, one of the interesting things is to look at the weekly candles, and hopefully we get a consolidation on the weekly here in the time frame ahead. That is April, May. And then, hopefully we can start taking off. And if we go back to the monthly, we'll start getting the green candles going up to the right? So hopefully we'll start, heading back that way. Not in a straight line like this, but, zigzagging back way back up. I'd just say that, my next target is 1,200. So 1,200 here. Well, let's go to I don't know what time frame I was looking at on. So 1,200 here is kind of my next target to start, getting higher highs here. And if we go to the daily, I think it might be a bit more obvious. 1,200 here. So I think we kind of need, obviously, get higher highs. So on the daily, but I think we really need to get over 1,200 and then stamp that in, and then maybe go past it, and then come test it again, and then move higher and start zigzagging our way up, so that we start getting this zigzag back to the upside. Obviously, a key mark here is 402,000, so that's still quite a bit of way to go. In fact, to get back up to there, it's a 2.5x, definitely doable, right? We've done it a couple of times before, but that is play there. Look at this one we did, 1.6, so definitely doable. And we're coming off the bottom, so there's always going to be that you got to absorb the people that got the cheap tokens that are not going to hang around too long. Just want to get 2x or 1x, 1.5x or something. 1.52x. And so yeah, we did another one there. So pretty similar kind of pump backs. This one's probably going to be slightly more violent, I would argue. So we'll keep a look out for that. But really, that is the chart right now. Have we set in the bottom? Question mark here. We've got all the same catalysts that we have to do for the rest of the market that we've talked about before around the money, around the record M2, potential interest rates cuts, the Clarity Act maybe in May if that does go through. Certainly looking more promising. I believe it's supposed to be coming out of the Finance Select Committee for the Senate this week out with final words, markups, and then that will progress. And so it's still going to be touch and go though. But I'm gonna give it 65%. Comes out Senate, then probably 65-70%. So still more likely than not, but still question marks over that. And then July, interest rate cuts, new chair. We've got the chair, I think, nominated Tuesday. And then we get an Iranian deal, even if it's a muddy deal. We'll see. Trump's going to obviously, he's going to try and do the best thing he can by checking them in. But, I bet a big part of him would love to go and do some more bombing. But because there's a lot more guys you can take out. But ultimately, hopefully the Iranian people will end up taking back Iran anyway. But that is kind of the play right now. So we'll keep a lookout. But green candle for the month so far, and we got 10 days or so. So keep a lookout for that, and hopefully we start zigzagging back up. And then once ETH recovers, we're still got to wait for ETH to play out. ETH is looking I think pretty good so far. And Bitcoin there, once Stretch starts really printing, especially into June, July, with the two bi-weekly dividend, it's really going to be hard to see things stopping now. This chart, the fundamentals look so damn good. But it take quite negative geopolitics to really impact crypto right now. All right, and we're seeing a bit of rotation. Obviously, best performers since the beginning of the war has been Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm not sure about after this pullback the last couple of days, but still looking pretty handsome. All right, that is the market right now. I think we covered quite a few projects as well. A big shout out to everybody that is out there building during the bear market. I mean, it's always tough. We've got so many projects and developers that have not launched yet, just simply because the market's not looking so hot. Waiting for that momentum to turn around. So we do want to get that up chart. Thinking of Stu out there, getting pretty close to all his projects. Jacob out there with his ones on Chain Bet. Obviously, what's the other one? What's the other one? I've forgotten the other name. Let me just find it. What's it called? Algo. Yeah, USD Algo coming up as well. And then you got Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap. You got Fast Abdul. There's lots of cool people doing lots of cool projects on Pulsechain, and a bigger list than I've just mentioned. Those are just some of the top ones that we've got coming. Pyrus, True Farm, True DeFi, all innovating in the space. Lots of projects. So we're not short of really, really cool stuff. And hopefully that continues to explode. Morbius coming on the gaming with the casino. We're going to see that on Thursday. So yeah, good two big interviews coming up. We've got Vouch, pretty much the top public Pulsechain validator, and their Flywheel tokenomics, and we also got Morbius as well coming up with blackjack and things like that. So it looks really cool. You got the table there, and everyone's jumping on, and they're I guess they're using Morbius to play. So lots of fun happening there. So it's going to be a great week of interviews. So look forward to those coming up. Now there's another project team I wanted to get on here too recently. We may very well see them. I'll hold off on that. They're coming up as well. So we're going to try and get some of the cool teams coming in, doing some interviews. So that'd be cool. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and a very special thanks to everybody in the chat there. Bitfinex, Amanda Toke, we had Jerry in the house there, Leech Star, Alex, Goody in the house, Derek, Hexmoto, Hexray Vision, and Frank White, many others there. So big shout out to you. Now we've got quite a large audience watching, so I do appreciate all your support. Hope you guys are enjoying sharing the journey with us as we try to find the bottom on Pulsechain, looking promising, and the fundamentals in crypto are looking outstanding. So we get some geopolitics settling down. then that we're pretty bullish. And let's see what happens on Tuesday. Ceasefire ends. Will we get a deal done? They're in Islamabad. There's lots of shots fired here and there, but still progressing forward, hopefully to an outcome there. But it has to be something that's tangible. So we'll see what happens. Clarity Act, maybe by May the 21st. Keep a lookout for that this week. Interest rate cuts July. Money market is printing. The business cycle is pumping over 50. We've got all the right things heading in the right direction. So hyper bullish about the future over the next 18 months in particular, let alone the next 10 years for the blockchain to dominate the new financial system. And you guys are all here at the right time, right place. So enjoy. Make sure you get quality assets though. So that you win. Don't get any crap tokens out there. There's lots of those. Millions now. That's so different from the last bull market. There's millions of tokens now. So yeah, game on. Keep a lookout for Liberty Swap this month. 3 big projects launching. They got 10 days to do it. 10 days to do it. Huge projects. So we wish them all the best. They're doing a great job in the space. So onwards and upwards, as we say. All right, I'm going to end the stream now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. Before I go, we got one big thing. We got Monster Thread number 50 is coming out today. 50 weeks, guys, of the hottest Pulsechain news. It's been a huge privilege for MVS Crypto and myself to get that out. We do enjoy it, and it is a neutral newsletter. In other words, it covers everybody. Doesn't matter, what we think of them or not. We've got all the news coming out, so it is exciting stuff, and it's one of our principles that we run on the Monster Thread. So hope you guys enjoy it. 50 weeks coming out. We've got some of the hottest teams as well in the Monster Thread, and they are all contributing hugely, I think, to Pulsechain in their own ways. So keep a lookout for those. The hottest news, hottest projects in the Monster Thread. Number 50 is coming out tonight or later today, depends on where you are in the world, I guess. So look forward to that. And then, of course, what's after 50? 52 is 1 year. So we're getting closer to 1 year of the Monster Thread, and it's been a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoy it too, showcasing some of the most interesting community events, community activities, as well as some of the hottest DeFi and GameFi and Pulsechain, and of course leading the way in many areas. And of course, Richard Hart there, the founder of Pulsechain, looks like he's almost completely free of Interpol, getting there. And so who knows, Richard Hart streaming soon. Time the bottom there, and that could be pretty close as well. That will absolutely mega boom, right? Probably get 30. I don't know. He'll have to warm back up, but he'll probably get 30 to 50,000 viewers, probably something like insane like that. Getting his engagement back up. We'll keep a lookout for that. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Onwards and upwards. Catch you again tomorrow for our special show with Vouch and Jexa there. It's going to be a great interview. The largest Pulsechain public validator, and of course the flywheel tokenomics that he has put together. Very, very clever. All right, take care. Bye for now.